Good. Welcome to Chaotic Calling. I'm your DM Starwind here, and I'm just running us through the finale of Timor Kingdom. So we've had a long discussion, and there was a lot of conflicting ideas about how this campaign was going. So we're going to go ahead and bring it to a finale, and it's going to be a story-written finale. So basically, I will be telling the story of Dancing Slight's last moments for Isabella, for Cindy, for Borden, for Zareth, for Oscar, for Draken. Let us begin. So upon recouping, they had to deal with their ally Oscar, who was still under the charm effect of a succubi, and the rogue sorcerer was finally given some instructions. "My pretty," the feminine voice started, "I have just been informed that we need to invite your friends to see the host who is waiting forthright. Play like you've been phased and lure your friends to the entrance of the north courtyard." Oscar shook his head and acted dazed as Borden closed in and prepared to give his friend a good thwacking for the fire blast he caused. "Wait, Borden, I'm fine. I managed to break the charm. I also intercepted some information that something awaits for us in the room north of the courtyard. We might be able to talk this out." "You do realize," as Borden says, we were half beaten. The enemy is deliberately wearing us thin, and you all of a sudden damn near kill us all. Again, sorry about that. But I'm fine now. We should gather up everyone and go to that room. It might be the only way to figure this out." So, reluctant, but untrusting, Borden pushed Oscar in front of him as he rejoined the group, badly burned Isabella and Draken. Group of badly burned Isabella and Draken. "The firewall dispels. I am so sorry, friends. I was charmed for a moment, but I finally broke out of it." After discussing for a brief moment what they should do, the door to the building of the north of the courtyard opened, as if inviting the group. With caution and trepidation in their heart, or maybe a strong desire to see this task to an end one way or another, the group started to enter the chamber that was left before them. As soon as they entered, they found themselves surrounded by 10 wolves that were just wandering around the chamber waiting for scraps perhaps, and there was a table with what looked like a small feast laid out on it. At the table, though, there was a man dressed in noble-looking attire bearing the crest of one of the noble families unfamiliar to the group. "This fork! It speaks and sings! How crazy is that?" the nobleman said as he picks up a fork and stabs it through what must be either cooked rare or perhaps bloody piece of meat. "The song it whispers, the darkness it wails. Hobble forth, the animated inn speaks." Picking up that, he might be saying nothing more than plain gibberish. Beyond the fixed table, though, was a pedestal of stairs that led to what looked like a king's throne, and atop the chair sat a lone, dark-haired man with a huge blue book in his lap, his fingers flicking through the pages as he casually glances over at the party that entered his chamber. "Ah, greetings. It would seem that I have been quite rowdy for way too long. Introductions should be had, but I would like to stay the hand of violence, especially while that noble is a guest here. I am one you met not long ago. Your stories and exploits have been a blessing. I am known as Alfonso Perador, but you may call me Alphon." The group hesitated to speak, and the fangs of the man before them bared representation of the vampire they faced some time back when they were first hunting Smiles. It was the vampire general who questioned Dancing Lights while they were charmed. "Please, have a seat. I know some of you, but it would seem you have more friends. Please, who do we have the pleasure?" he addressed as he waved his hands to the party to take a seat at the table with the nobleman. "I don't like this one bit, sis," Draken whispers as he finds himself compelled to take a seat. Isabella doesn't seem to hesitate as she rests her burned body into a nearby chair. Oscar seems to sit down and listens intently as Zareth remains pacing close to the door, unwanting any of the situation. Borden, as still as ever, stands near Oscar but remains standing as he voices himself. We came here with intentions of destroying this castle and ridding you vampires from our city once and for all. That, I must admit, has left me in a bit of a surprise, you know. How you took down the Maven. I must say, watching everyone in action while waiting here was dull in one sense, but inspiring in another. Please, take a seat. We're all friends here. I promise, no harm till we have time to discuss what will come next. Somehow compelled, a soft, dull voice in the back of Borden's head saying, "Resist, no, don't," but quickly fades to nothing as Borden finds himself a seat nearby. Alphonse points towards Zareth and motions him to take a seat as well. Come, come. I'll get some wine and we can discuss this in great detail. After all, we're all friends here. And at first Zareth tries to shake it off something, but suddenly finds himself drawn, taking a seat. There we go, friends. Let's have a heart-to-heart, shall we? He says as 3 succubi fade from ethereal form into material and walk up to the pedestal to sit near the seat as if they were waiting for a story to be told. I have very much enjoyed displaying just a bit of what Lord Van can pull off. Alas, he's not here to see it personally, but I'm sure he's watching. You are very valiant adventurers, let there be no lie, and to just kill you off would be quite a shame. Alas, there's a pesky dragon that's redecorating this old keep, but alas, Master Van said that this keep can fall. As long as the blood debt was paid for his wife's death, such tragedy. He trails off as he flips a page in the big blue book he has in his lap. I suppose there's only a few more things we need to go over, but I figure I reread your exploits up to this point if you don't mind. They seem very interesting. Let's see. There was once a paladin who traveled with you who friended a fox by healing its injuries. He was quite a piece of work. You'd think a paladin chosen by Illumina could care more for his party when you visited the Citadel Kingdom. But before we get to that, there was also the confrontation of Minerva, power that hides herself in our world. I heard she's been doing good as of late. Ooh, you saved the village from an attack on were creatures. Quite an interesting tale in itself, where you met a bard who could help you for some time before seeking his own fortunes in another land. Upon traveling back to Timor from watching an orc war get obliterated by 2 giant dragons fighting over something, you find a porcelain maiden, Lindsay Starfarer. Assisting her helped your group babysit the lovely fox you all kept. You bested a clan of gnolls who made their home in the sewers and found a teleportation circle to our dear friend the Lich. An old Lich whose name is lost in time. By the way, you could thank him for the lovely undead party in town. You find yourself in one of Minerva's traps for a bit, hoping that key you got for a reward would be a well-offered respite. Quite an amusing lady she is. But from there you managed to teleport to Citadel Kingdom, which took what looks very hard for heretic arcane spellcasters and puts them to the testimonial flame of Ironforge. Fanatics, at its finest. Would seem your sorcerer had a bit of hide and seek with guards after a cantrip alerted them. What an interesting tale you've written so far. He pauses for a moment as the 3 succubi stand up, walk around the table, clearing off dishes, looking over everyone in turn, and nodding towards Alphonse as he took it as a chance to continue, flipping the page on the tome once more. You managed to run into interesting characters such as Azalea and Christian, who assist you to get back by helping you escape from Port Miscus, where you chartered the service of Captain Barlow, a priest of Levianthian, and known for making shady deals with adventurers and smugglers, like the 3 children you were to help get back to the Arcana. Ah, the Arcana. There's something interesting things to learn there, let me tell you. But I digress. Journeying the sea, one of your charges, or maybe not your charges, but one of your children were wanted by the goddess of the sea. A mind attempt was had, and she threw herself overboard. Oh my, quite a dramatic way to do things. I wonder if any of you would be willing to jump over. I digress. In an attempt to rescue the girl, your paladin's celestial mount faded from existence, and somehow magical horseshoes. That would be the death of the impatient paladin. Quite amusing. Alas, you had a sailor aboard who could help perform the resurrection, and you did manage to also get Rachel back as well. For some reason, I'm still hosting. Let me get that fixed. Anyway, back to the story. There, an attempt was made to capture this girl by sending out 2 storm giants. It seemed like a confident way to get what you wanted by manipulating forces to pose you, and the moral dilemma of saving the child came up. Oh, this was quite amusing. He turns a gaze over to Sereth as he speaks. Zareth's gaze locked with his. You dare say, let's kill the girl and bring her back to life? In front of a priestess of Illumina and the girl herself? Not to mention Lindsay. Oh, the story has been interesting. A choice had to be made, and not wanting to give the girl. Your silent bard casts spells to deliver them from the fate as she hastily leaves the party and fades away with Rachel in tow. Another page turns in the tome, and he smirks, and a smirk seems to come over his face. Forced to leave them to their fate, as you were to set off to continue to the Arcana, meeting point at Freedom Port. Ah, and there you met the Seraphim known as Insidaria. Hello, lovely. He bows somewhat from his throne, turns to meet Sydney's gaze, and returns it to the book. Here you were, you met with the distraught Azalea, who was ready to forget helping any more young children who were gifted in magic to leave Citadel Kingdom. She released you from your service to gather experience, and you threw in your chances with this lot. Excuse me. They welcomed you in fine enough. Alas, though, that bard Apollo, he seems to have ended his tale here as he leaves to continue in Taina Kingdom. Seems things might have calmed down for you, though, finally making it back home. You plan your lovely establishment into a mini shopping center of many necessities. Ah, the life of an adventurer going entrepreneur. Then we find little Viola, trapped in a vague sea of memories of not her own. His voice sounds broken and sympathetic as he reads on. All she wanted to do was kill who caught up to her. But dancing light. There, you healed one of her targets before they bled out and earned her ire. She nearly took you out a few times there in Sidaria, but Dancing Light came to take care of you, did they not? These adventures you share with our Viola, I am almost jealous. He finally lets out a soft chuckle, before going back to what seems to be reading, turning the page once more. You managed to take her alive and take her back to your shabby basement, binding her in ways that no rogue would stand a chance of getting out. Alas, with no gag, she screamed at the top of her lungs till the sound of voice brought some guards to put her in a new location. She was a clever girl, wasn't she? Leaving poor Viola alone with the city guards, you then go to investigate a mural that was found in the basement where you suspected the cult of Tiamat. Ah, what power you always seem to run into. And isn't it amusing? He turns his gaze to Zareth once more. You got frightened and broke into the castle, headed to the back courtyard while invisible and frightened. Amazing! He laughed sharply audible, sting seeming to fill Zera's face, but he is unable to speak his mind. Let's see here. There you've met with Pharaoh, who freed you from that mess, while your friends find out that our little Viola escaped her cage and took out the captain while she was at it. That's our girl. You must have had a shock when you opened the door only to be greeted like a maid welcoming you home. Master, how so poetic. She was such a charmer. It seemed that it was time for you to meet your merry band shortly thereafter as we met our little Viola. Van taking an interest in her story and releasing her from her clouded memories. There she accepted our lord, and was to be wed. Oh, what a fight you all put up to try to stop the turning, unaware how protective we are. Alas, we had a discussion about all this that very day as all became good friends, kind of like how we are now. It was clear now that, while Alphonse was buying time, he was using his and the Succubi's influences to make sure everyone became his best friend, and that they would sit there quietly at his request to hear their exploits. I see a lot of interesting things happening as you all took a trip to Peritia to try and save Oscar's poor sister. He turns towards Oscar and gives him a sympathetic look. How is your sister, by the way? And Oscar seems to answer she's doing well, though under an enslavement by Ninny. To Ninny. Pity that, but it was probably for the best. Seems you have friends in high places. A pit fiend named Calic who's currently waging war with our armies. He's quite formidable. Perhaps he'll want to make a deal for the services rendered. He pauses for a moment, continues reading another page as he looks back to the tome. Alas, there seems to be a task where you entered the tower and defeated some boss-like rooms to do some good old adventuring and looting. Seems Minerva was moving pieces on a board already, and I think we have her to thank for some interesting things about to happen. But I digress. Congratulations on ascending the Sandstorm Tower. It's quite a feat, and you all got plenty of magical items and spells and whatnot. Just whatever the adventurer hopes for. Seems you had a conversation with Minerva that put a few of your friends against the wall, per se. He smirks and turns his gaze towards Borden. Trying to bargain with that devil is quite a feat. Alas, with friends like these, kind of pointing towards Zareth and Cindy. And he trails off and flips another page. From there, you secure the fact that your sister's safe and make your way back to Timor. Our plans for your shops were starting to come into fruition by this time. Seems you had a merry jubilee, holidays and all the humbug. Turns the page in disgust as he seems to flip into more recent events. Seems soon you were prompted to find out what the cultists stealing from a small temple in the light goddess of Dragonspine. Ah, so this is where you come in, he smirks as he nods towards Isabella. Seems you had a special potion before meeting Dancing Lights and scarfed all of our poor Cindy's food from her plate. Being a druid, you offer to take these fine fellows through the mountains. Besides, this is your backyard, is it not, Dragonborn? After all the excitement on that little trip, it seems you once returned home to collect the reward, and joining Dancing Light for a time, Isabella is miraculously reunited with her brother, Draken. He then eyes the halfling and then turns to Isabella, almost confused. Brother? No, wait, don't spoil it for me, I'll get there. Seems like some children managed to steal his boozy bandolier. And in a desperate attempt by himself to get back what was his, he managed to upset some very powerful shadow figures in the city. Ah, okay, I see now. So this A reincarnate was performed and now you are halfling. Amazing. He smirked at Draken and shakes his head. I don't get this. He pauses. Ghost is best boy. Something weird must have got into this book, but no matter. He slams the blue book shut and stands from his pedestal. I think we all know what happened next. Aviela wanted to finish playing with Insidaria, and you wouldn't let her have it. You decimated her, turned her to ash, left her blowing away in the wind, and my poor master to suffer the blow of her parting. His tone grows louder as he balls up a fist. Do you know what it means to anger our master? Of course you don't, but now you do. He flicks his wrist and the book floats in the air before him and turns till it shows a blank page on either side. I could kill you, but that wouldn't appease the master. Instead, you must continue to tell me your story, each and every one of you. With a tilt of his hand as if gesturing someone to go inside the book, he waves his hand first at Zareth, whose form fades as a soft blue light illuminates his last spot where he was standing. A blank page in the book depicts a picture in a forest. I really should have worked on his more. It depicts him being lost into a forest, so he's probably skulking, hiding. But I digress. And the blank page in the book depicts a picture of a forest. He is then gestures to Borden. With some resilience yet determination, the somatics of the spell imbue Borden into the book, and the page depicting him near an altar, kneeling, is seen in the book. A gesture goes towards Oscar, and the image fades from blue haze to another blank page, filling out what looks like Oscar casting fireballs in succession at an unknown target. My lady, he says coldly to Insidaria, whose form is now forced into the book, as depicts what looks like an oven and Sydney pulling out cookies, as a winter wolf seems readily to eat them. However, the cookies look kind of burnt. He turned a gesture towards Isabella, but before he could invoke the spell on her, a giant winter wolf comes out from her shadow to try and aid. A last telepathic message heard only by Isabella. Ghost is best boy. I shall do what I can, mother. But alas, his form and Isabella disappear and become depicted as a wolf and druid hunting in the mountain region. Give me back my sister, Draken cried out as the Lord Master Amphons waved his hand at him, and he faded. Of course! Whenever were you able to stay with her for too long before the need of such item to fill your what needed? He laughed as Draken is seen in the pages that were meant for him, depicting him raiding a royal cellar. Dancing light! Your fight here is not in vain, nor will it be forgotten. Who knows, maybe one day you'll return. But for now, tell me your story. As the lower master browses through the new pages of his book, he informs the closest succubi. We have what we come for. Let's try and see if we can get this place out of reach of that dragon before it makes another round. In turn, the castle soon dissipates. All the fighting down below slowly recedes into minor skirmishes as the enemy slowly retreats thereafter. The darkness created by an unholy aura that was placed in the region slowly cascading away, and the troops and soldiers near the castle walls now stare on the horizon seems to show a glimpse of hope. Ninny and her followers mourn the loss of Lindsay, as she's displayed in a tomb fit for a hero. At her stone, the text, "Here lies the favored bard," and the stone statue of a violin appears below the plaque. Liana becomes very quiet in these days and comes as she finds her half-brother is nowhere to be found. Even Calic seems disoriented as he can't locate where his promised soul is. Father Arum continues to visit the orphanage at the Temple of Kasia in hopes that Borden might come by for another visit, unsure what fate he got bestowed. All workers of Dancing Light try to maintain the shops as Lucretia picks up the slack and helps direct all the shops along with the bakery. Lucille continues to keep all the rooms kept clean as Haslo and Riley continue to guard the establishment. Speaking of Riley, it seems Myra and him have set a date to get married. Blacksmiths continue to work hard on new orders from the Crown as they help build up new weaponry for military orders along with armor, so the blacksmiths are kept busy. Nora manages to keep working with Milo and Avidus and focusing their efforts to make the smithy profitable to help pay for upkeep. Lucretia's guidance helped keep the shops working, and with some order, but she always still bossing around Myra and Irina in the kitchen. The bakery manages to keep the populace filled with delicious bakery goods. They aptly name a cupcake the Cindarian cupcake, after Cindy, whose fate is still unsure. Nal manages over the alchemy lab as they continue to experiment and provide basic needs in potions to the populace. They manage to requisition the guild for supplying their adventurers with their improved brews of healing. As shop closes up one night, we find Miria leaving. She ducks into a nearby alleyway to return to her home, till she stopped from a figure who appeared behind her silently till she spoke. "Hello, sister. I take it you've been hard at work?" "Medea, is that you?" She whips around to see her sister step out of the shadows. "What brings you here?" "A task that kept me busy for quite some time finally came to an end, so I figured I'd come catch up before things got busy again." "The way you said that, you're making it sound..." "I know. This might be the last time we get to talk like this. Before..." Medea hesitates and sighs. "Before I head off to the unknown. I wanted to at least let you know how much I missed you, and not really sorry for you getting kicked out of the monastery. I think you serve better in doing what you're doing now." "I am. And yeah, those days are over for me. Sadly, I'll never get to know if I can make the perfect poison. There was hope to go to sea and see if I could discover the aquatic plant that would..." "Okay, sis, I get it," she interrupted, knowing full well that if she didn't, she would continue to talk non-stop about this. "I'm glad you're okay. Take care of yourself. Do you want to come over for tea or something?" "I'm afraid I can't do that. This visit was only brief." And from behind Medea, another woman steps out to take Medea's hand. "Are we ready to leave, then?" she says as her long mane-like hair bounces about as she stares at the little sister. "Aye, let's return to the mistress. I think my affairs are in order now, Asira." And with that, Asira simply waved at Miria, and with the cast of a spell, they were teleported away. And that's the end. At this time, we are now left to question about the campaign. And if there's anything that I can answer to an extent, I will. Otherwise, if it might influence things that could happen in Tynek's campaign, I can leave that a mystery. But yeah, this is now open floor. So if you guys want to go ahead and unmute. Well, yep. So with that is the end of Dancing Lights. Well, in this sense, until we can figure out if we want to pick it back up later. Is there any questions you have about the campaign, or?
So we may see the characters again.
There is a possibility.
Like
yeah. Frey is the other campaign.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, Isabella.
Yeah.
But yeah, the idea was, like, I did not want you all to just have a fight that you never actually got to fight out. Because if you're going to go down fighting, then you might as well have done that. But I wanted to put you guys, like, on a shelf, like, quite literally on a shelf, so that if there was one day we wanted to pick this back up, we can come back to it. But yeah, like, if there was something in the past, like if there was a check you made and you weren't sure what it was, I can give you, like, information of what you missed or something like that. or if there's a plot hook that you think would have been cool to check out, and if I can answer anything about it, I can do that as well.
Well, we did leave the heads on that one place, like we passed. It was like a road to Bellland, I believe. I'm not sure.
What did you
Yeah.
leave?
The one road that we didn't go on when we were coming back.
Oh, yeah, I remember. Yeah, that would have been a confrontation with, I don't know if I think it was like an ogre or something, but I rolled like a random encounter for that, and that was just another side step to kill something if you need to.
Maybe Draken can come out as a dragonborn again.
Not so sure about that.
I mean, if we go back in time, I mean, back before, I got murdered.
You're not traveling in time, you're stuck in a book. If anything, time's going beyond you.
Yes.
Time sits still
For
as
you
we lay
and-
in the book.
But time marches on outside of the book.
Yep.
But yeah. Yeah, I added more stuff to kind of include what happened after the fact, and especially with your workers. So hopefully I've honored that mention as best I could. Because I was quite proud of how that got set up, and it sucks that it's going to be wasted. For now, it's not.
I'm just wondering how come Draken didn't get stuck in the page with me and Ghost.
Because he wasn't a creature. He was his own person, and he had to fail it as a person, not as... Like, you and Ghost got counted as one because Ghost is bounded to you.
Okay.
Yeah. But if it helps, he's on the opposite page. So, like, the book closes, you two are together. And he's like, yeah, you would now could be with your sister forever.
At least I have a
Oh,
dog
nice.
companion
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah.
You only have her because she didn't step out of your shadow and Ghost didn't let her come in mine.
Yeah, Ghost is best boy.
I swear if I ever get out of that book, I'm gonna kick him in the face. With my halfling foot.
Don't you mean the legs into her halfling?
In the shin.
Well, you see, if we were fighting him, that's literally how I fight, because,
You could do a
Draken's
flying
fine.
roundhouse. Hadouken.
That's just how Draken fights.
Well,
With
And-
magical kicks and punches.
that didn't take as long as I thought it would. But, yeah. No questions about the campaign? Nothing in the past that you were, questioning?
Like, I can't think of anything.
I know yours was pretty...
I assume, there was checks that would have been there, if we were actually, in the game, but I'm guessing, there were so many that we probably wouldn't be able to will past it at that point, at least.
Well, once you guys said you were done, you basically lost what they call a hero status as far as, making checks and whatnot. The common person kind of... I'm not trying to belittle that you guys aren't heroes. You guys certainly are. I mean...
In
Our
your
wills
own eyes.
broke,
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah, once you give up on the story, then it's all narrative at that point. And not trying to have a war with narrative or mechanics, but there's got to be give and take, and we need to give in to something better than what was coming out, and just go forward with a more sound mentality on how we're going to do things. Plus, the better part of you, the ones that have joined me, haven't been here at the beginning. So for people I know that are going to stick around, I want to give you another chance later on to be there at the
If
beginning.
things were different,
Mm-hmm.
would our characters got to meet?
No. I had no intentions for either party to meet up at this point.
Okay.
Because you would have been continually driven to go to the temple regardless, because hey, this ain't our problem. We can't do anything by ourselves. If it comes to bite us in the ass, let's fight it on home ground. So that's why you need to return to the temple.
Right.
And in a way, you're seeking the power that comes with the avatar. So
Right.
so you were just basically bettering yourself.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I had a vision a long time ago that I wanted to like cohese that together. But after we had the one shot with the wizards, and then they came into the story, and you guys were crossing there, I didn't feel like there was a balance of roleplay, or it was just kind of hard to balance that because you guys had to think about two different characters, and one of them was offhanded. It was kind of weird. But maybe we approach that a little bit better next time, if it comes up.
Okay.
But yeah, nothing in the past that you could think of, Cindy? Like, you got any questions about Azalea and her background or anything like that?
I thought that would affect the other campaign, but
I don't think it would. I mean, the other campaign
So
doesn't know Azalea, and she has no ties to him.
the current adopted mother figure.
I think it'd be cool to look into some of Draken and Freya's past. Not Freya, Isabella. Freya's the other one.
So she wanted to marry someone from the Mage Guild, if I remember correctly. Was I thinking wrong?
You're thinking way wrong.
I thought you said something like that.
No, Spencer and Devia have a relationship. If that's what you're thinking. No. Red is the companion that goes around with Azalea, who acts like the father to Christian. She's a mama, you know that, right?
Oh.
Yeah, Azalea's kid is Christian.
Wait a minute, is that the kid that we saved?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I mean, you guys had a run-in in both campaigns.
Yeah,
Right.
I know.
And, yeah, Azalea is tied to Denio. Because Denio got trapped in a, trapped by the Nefarious in a seal that released a certain character that I won't go into. Because I think that might still affect the campaign. But, yeah. So, Denio was captured. And then something was released. And then 10 years later, time marches on. Azalea had a kid with Denio. But Red's been like the acting father at the time. And now Denio's back, and it's like, wait, you didn't wait for me? What the fuck, bitch? 10 years is a long time, though, so... yeah. And Azalea's faced with that problem, like, that moral dilemma. Do I follow where my heart used to be, or do I follow where it is now?
So, what's our plan for the, like, upcoming Sundays? I know you said that you wanted to, like, take a break.
I'm probably gonna... probably gonna either take a break, or we could talk about it during the week. But we do plan to adjust our time as well, because we're going to be going into a more professional atmosphere, I'm hoping. And we can occupy Sunday for now with a second helping of Tynak.
Woo woo.
So that's the talk right now, guys. We'll confirm it. Like, I might want at least a week to mull things over, because I've been thinking about trying to put things more categoried into a book form, so I can like have it for references whenever we continue. Because yeah, you guys are in Timor now, and I need to get all my reference material from Timor.
Oh, what is Sarah saying about wants to know why the house was empty for 2 years?
It wasn't empty because like haunting or anything like that. It was one of those things, like it was a rundown building and nobody wanted it, and it got donated to the guild for them helping out the city, and the guild just kind of like gains these properties by, you know, casually helping out clients, and they house their, you know, the benefactors who give them the better, you know, who bring in more money. It's just that this one building hasn't had a host, and it was just lined up for them. It was nothing.
Okay.
Yeah, it was nothing serious, but he was like, "There's something strange about this," and I just let him continue to think that.
Okay.
But yeah, it's just one of them properties that got turned over. But yeah, any other kind of questions like that? That's what I want to hear.
I don't know anymore.
Let's see here. Let's see if we can answer some of these questions about that have just been placed here. Or let's see what's left over. So we answered what that was about. And then we had all these house plans still.
Yep.
Yep. We got
Like,
house.
what
Twin
all?
room, poor stable.
What's up?
What else did you have planned inside that castle for us if we were to, you know, actually have?
Ah, there you go. That's a good question. So, if you guys would have went down with Razor, with Oscar, you could have discovered some hidden paths that led out to the ruins, and you could have dropped this castle. That was one path I was kind of thinking you guys would have done. Otherwise, you would have had the one vampire confrontation in that room waiting for you. And then there would still be a partial anti-magic barrier up because he has a crystal hidden behind his throne.
Dang.
Mm-hmm.
Could we have, like, just made the castle drop if we tried to dispel the rune?
Yeah. I had it lined up for you to try if you wanted to, but you had to get to it from the secret passages that were on the inside.
No one wanted to go for the runes, they just wanted to go in.
And that's where I kept, like, I couldn't offer you advice. I was just like, you're gonna do this however you want to do it. And that's the way you guys did it.
Majority rules.
Yeah.
I
yeah.
mean, Draken's like, you know, either the city gets destroyed or the castle gets destroyed.
No. But no, there was a chance to, find the inner ruins as well. Because, like, the ruins on the outside aren't the only problem. You have to find the ones that were on the inside, too. And they would have been still on the same passageway leading in. So you could have destroyed them on your way out to the edge. And then once you destroyed the ones on the other edge, you could have dropped this whole castle on. And that would have been a problem for the city.
This also would have been a problem for us because we would have been squished.
Yeah, you would have to find a way to fly out. There's a possibility you could probably call out for Crimson to come in, like Flamey, but... And everybody had a telepathic bond with everybody else except for Sydney. And everybody was focused on this one plan to kill Oscar. And it kept taking away from one. I mean, you were treating Sydney like an outcast, which I felt was unfair. But at the same time, I get why you guys did it too. So just remember, it's a party game. Everybody needs to be included. This is like the balance that I have to work with. But yeah. What else can I think about that I need to reveal? Like, Minerva could have been an assistant to you guys early on before you guys even came in. But Zareth, being Zareth, fucked that up for everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, because she just loves chaos, and as long as you let her bask in it, she wasn't going to do anything. But when you attack her, you kind of like picked your side, you know? And yeah, she was.
What did he say to her? Did he smart off to her or something?
He tried to assassinate her.
Well, no wonder she fucking hates us.
Mm-hmm. Like, Borden managed to parlay with her pretty well. And, you know, it's just... Zara, he opens his trap and then he lets whatever's on his mind just spill out without thinking of that consequence that, oh yeah, this person might actually kill me. But, you know, that's part of D&D, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Seeing what you can get away with, I suppose. But yeah, there is a bigger story around Minerva that I can't reveal yet. But I kind of hinted. Maybe not as good as I could have, but I figured a little scene with one of your workers who is associated in a way would be a good way to do it. But yeah, it has been a year-long campaign. At least a year. And I thank everybody who joined us, even those who have left, for coming in, helping tell the story, and moving on. This has been like a learning experience for me as well, as you know, I'm trying this, you know, make things more professional as a stream and treat this more, you know, I still want to have fun, but I want to be a little bit more professional if I can, so, you know, that way we can tell our story to more than just us. I like to share the story with other people who can find it in their hearts to watch it and, you know, captivate what we can.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, this has been Timor Kingdom, and that's the end for now. For now.
So, the city,
Yes.
since the castle didn't drop, the city's good now, right?
For the most part, save for the 2 cannonballs that fell into the city.
Oh,
What all did we destroy there?
You destroyed the carriage house where they make carriages, and some. Oh, I think the tent district got torn apart, like where all the poor people live.
Luckily, we didn't hit the bakery, or just the workplace, I guess you can call it.
Mm-hmm.
You said that we heard, distant screams could be heard whenever Zareth had a turn at the cannonball. What was that? Like, did he hit somebody? Did he kill somebody?
I thought that was when he shot, like, a sneak attack at the...
Yeah.
Did he kill someone right there?
Trying to think. Was this when he was running?
He was shooting at the beholder.
Yeah, you shot the beholder. The shrieks and crying were people backing away.
Well, I thought one of his arrows whiffed. And,
Oh,
like,
wait.
Yeah.
I think he accidentally hit a guard.
Ow.
I mean, that was a long range, you know?
Yeah.
And you can't control that arrow once it leaves the bowstring. Unless you have the ability to do so, which he did not.
Right.
I mean, there are abilities to do that, but it requires you to be a different class. But yeah, I think he shot somebody on accident. But he did get a shot in on the beholder too, if I recall.
I'm kind of disappointed that I didn't get to pay Gordon back.
Well,
Because of my dear brother.
I don't know what you're talking about.
You broke me. My ass is broke.
Don't worry. Once
Not
I
emotionally,
get my
just
friend
fucking...
out of prison.
And get out of that area that you're stuck in.
Yeah, as far as you know,
we'll go
you're...
steal some stuff.
As far as you know, you're in that royal cellar right now.
So you're happy to be happy without your sister right now.
But don't worry, she's on the next page. That's a thing I'm going to be mulling over too. Like, if we do pick this back up and we reintroduce everything, like whoever keeps coming along, I might write like one-on-ones, and we take turns with each other as we go through like our little adventure to try to get out of the page.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, you basically have to have your story told in order to get out. And then, you know, just one-on-one mission to do so. Like, I'm thinking straight off the bat, like, Drakens would be having to face the guards who catches him in the cellar. And he'd have to find a way to elude or get away from them. And then, you know, just an example. I might go further than that, but something to think about, which I'll give it some thought. But yeah.
So then Cindy needs to finish the cookies correctly.
She needs to make cookies that Crimson would be proud of, and honestly, I don't think you have it in you.
It's too hard. You need to make the world's best cookie for him to forgive you.
Oh, but yeah.
That's another thing. If we continue, if we do Tynek on Sunday, would that bring back Athena? Or no?
I don't want another fucking warlock.
Athena could come back if she is needed.
Or wait, that's a bard, ain't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like you either. Broken piece of snot. No, possibility, but it would have to come naturally somehow.
Alright.
I mean, we know currently she's in Blackmoor, but she could be traveling because she's a bard, right?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And there's another bard that's
Who knows?
traveling around Tynek that we'll never get to see.
There might be some druids popping up somewhere, you never know.
Yeah, those are all situations we can look at. So, yeah, join us Wednesday night, 7 p.m. Central, where we keep going in Tynek. What? Did you want to add?
Playing Dragon's Dog. Playing Dragon's Dogma. Something.
By the way, Grigori inspired Crimsu, if you ever wondered.
Nice.
Yeah. So whenever you hear Crimsu voice, just think of Grigori. But yeah, join us Wednesdays, 7 p.m. I'm gonna try to end it now for Tynek Kingdom as we pick up. Oh, what happened last time? We are on the road.
Mm-hmm.
We're leaving Felrin Outpost. Is that as far as we got? Just now leaving?
Yeah, I
Oh,
had
wait.
just gotten back to the party.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As a
Oh,
hawk.
that's right. The horse scene.
That was worse.
that was.
And keeping secrets is never a good thing.
No, there's some suspicions. There's some suspicions going on now because you decided to drink the boot liquor. Probably wasn't in your best decision to do that, but you kind of got the sense that both of you are on the same side. But at what cost?
Now I know for certain we're on the same side.
Well, yeah. But
They just don't know.
yeah, the
Yeah,
cultists
no,
heard the Platinum Dragon's name mentioned, and they're not sure if it was in context to him saying something about worshipping the Platinum Dragon, but Leon took the information, like, you don't know for sure, then he was probably talking about somebody he's going to kill from the Platinum Dragon. That's what it had to be.
Right.
So we'll see if that happens. So Leon's got a seed planted in him right now that says, I know something, but I'm not sure what it is yet. So that's where that stands. And we're going to keep that going on Wednesdays at 7 for now. And then I'm looking at a projected time change because 12 p.m. is just horrific for a lot of us because...
7!
Yeah, we're going to move to 7 p.m. Sundays or Saturday. No, I think some of you got something going on Saturdays.
Yeah, I
For
got stuff
now. But, no, we'll go with Sunday. Sunday at 7. And then on April 23rd, I am going to be marathoning Dragon's Dogma on the Switch. And we're going to see how well that plays. So I welcome everybody to come in, especially my players, to help keep my stream entertaining, make things professional.
When is it?
23rd.
Okay.
Yep. And trust me, I'll be telling you that next week too. But yeah, this has been Chaotic Calling Timor Kingdom finale. You guys got any more input for the campaign or anything you want to say before we call it?
It was
I
nice
never
knowing you
got-
guys.
Yeah.
What the fuck, Brett?
Don't let the Dragon get you, dude.
No, I was only at 20 health left to kill Damon.
Anyway.
And you
Hopefully one
ran
day I
out
get
of
to kick
stones.
the shit out of the shadow.
Good job with that. Alright, yeah, we're going to go ahead and get out of here then. Thanks for stopping by. And
Thanks
maybe,
for enjoying this game.
Right? It's been a hell of a one.
And we still got a hell of a one going on Wednesdays, and hopefully it'll carry over to Sunday as well. So, yeah, let's have fun. This has been Starwind with Chaotic Calling. Have a good night. Say goodbye.
Good night.
Good night, everyone.
Bye.
Goodbye.
And do you hear the calling?